Hello, now I'm in Hong Kong. Oh my God, it is so incredible here. It's really intense, but then it's very accessible as well, because as well as the Chinese characters, like everything is in English also. I'm in a place called Cat Street. It's a market that has kind of some antiques, but mostly any old shite, Like, the way that I love bric-a-brac and jumble sales and car boot sales and like that sort of malarkey. Well, this place, as well as the antiques, has oodles of any old shite. Now, I bought some of them figurines over my shoulder. Himself is just going to show you a shot. They're Maoist figurines of, people working on the land and, propaganda stuff. But I know that, that it was a terrible time for China, but they still look nice. So I can acknowledge both. Try not to be mortified. Then we got an alarm clock from Maoist times and a little mirror and a chess set with the little figurines carved, all beautiful. A portable chess set, that's what it is. And then I bought a painting. Hold on, I'm going to hold it up. You can't see it completely because you see it's covered, but it's my colours and it cost 35 yo-yos. And I also bought a little mirror, and she said it was like 50 Hong Kong dollars, which is about €5. And I said to her, look, I know I'm supposed to barter with you. I said, but I haven't the energy. Look, you can have your fiver, basically. So it's lovely here, and to my great surprise, everyone is lovely. I sort of expected that it would be kind of very bruising and they'd be really kind of savage bargainers and all. But we went to a place last night called the Ladies Market for the knockoff handbags, and they were really nice there as well. And if you asked if they had something and they didn't have it and they tried to get something and it was the wrong thing, nobody got cross when I said, I asked for pink, that's yellow. You see, if you said, hello there, I'd like a pink boy bag from Chanel, they'd say, right you are, and they'd get on their mobile phone and they'd call around other stall holders in the place, and then a man would run off and come back with a plastic bag full of things, and then the girl would take them out of the bag and say, this is what you asked for, isn't it? And I would go, no, it isn't. And she'd go, you're right, it isn't. And we'd part as friends, not as narky arses. It's very lovely here. Like, it's different to what I expected. It's nothing like as bruising. The underground system is amazing. And apparently you're not allowed to eat or drink on it. And yesterday we were coming home from somewhere and I had 2 bananas in my bag. And I was hungry. So I said to himself, well, we ate our bananas. And then he reminded me that it's illegal to eat or drink on the underground. And not only is it illegal, but the other passengers heckle you. And that really tempted me. I just thought it'd be great to be heckled for eating a banana on the tube. But himself begged me not to, so I didn't. So we haven't. So it's a very kind of regimented, obedient city, which would worry you a bit. A lot of things are illegal. But it's incredibly exciting. It's just so full of everything. And it's very tall. All the buildings are so high. And there's a ferry to get across from, like, these are only low compared to other ones. And we've just had our lunch in a vegan organic-y place. And I had an alkaline salad and he had some other yolk with avocado in it. And so we're feeling kind of virtuous. But yeah, I wasn't expecting a vegan-y place in Hong Kong. But I will be on to you with more stuff. But I'm mad about it here. Really, really, really loving it. Hello, isn't it very high up? We're really high up. We are on the 110th floor in the hotel, and it is just incredible. Everything about Hong Kong has been incredible. We're going home today, and 3.5 days here. Well, yeah, 3 days really. It's nothing like enough. But we've had the best time, and I'll tell you, I was in Japan once upon a time, I don't know, good few years ago, and the place bait me, lads. It just had me bait. There was no way. I have come away from Tokyo knowing nothing knowing less about the place than before I went. Everything was so impenetrable and the people so weren't interested. I think what makes Hong Kong so much better is that, I'm really sorry, but like they have, you know, English language signs on the tube stations, as well as I think it's Cantonese characters, or maybe it's Mandarin. Do you know, so it's accessible that way, but it's still very Chinese. Like it still feels very exotic. And oh yeah, so yesterday we went to see the big Buddha, and that is and it's big. It lives up to its name. You get the metro off to the end of the line, so you're sort of outside the city limits. And then we went up in a gondola yoke, like if you were going to ski. Not that I would ever be going to ski, but it had a glass floor, and you were so high, and like miles below you could see the tops of the trees looking like broccoli, because to me everything looks like food. And then we could see the sea, or it's an estuary or something that we were passing over, and I'm not afraid of heights. I'm afraid of everything else. So I suppose, you know, I'm allowed to be not as scared of one thing. I thought it was great. So we get up, and you have to get off the gondola yoke like you're on a thing on Alton Towers, do you know, like it's still moving and you have to jump out, you know, that way, and then more people jump in. And then, right, there are 283 steps, which is a lot, from where you get out to the top of the Buddha. But before we started our climb, I needed to avail of the facilities, because I always need to avail of the facilities because of my bargain basement bladder. So I'm coming out of the facilities, and I open the door, and there's a woman coming in. So I shift myself mannerly, you know, to let her come in before I go out, even though technically speaking I was the one who had opened the door, so I should have been let go first. Anyway, she goes past me with no eye contact and no kind of thanks for that, you know, normal mannerly stuff. Anyway, so we get to the top of the Buddha, and it is the climb is tough, like, because my knees are bad, and I'm unfit and lazy and all of those things, you know. I only say the knees thing so that people might be less judgmental of me. So anyway, we get to the top, and even when you get to the top, there are more steps, and you can kind of get up in a ring bit around the Buddha. So up we go, and it is amazing because there's so many clouds, because you're up really high, and the clouds are kind of moving in and out of the trees in a very spooky way, but in a way that looks very Chinese. I think, you know, there have probably been pictures or tapestries done of that kind of, it felt incredibly exotic and thrilling and beautiful and atmospheric. Anyway, we look down, and right in front of the face of the Buddha is this woman, and she's all taking it real seriously, like, yeah, you know, bowing and this and that. Anyway, wasn't it your one with the no manners from the Jacks that I let through the door who didn't thank me? And I mean, I wanted to lean over the railings and shout down at her, "Yes, religious people, you're all the feckin' same." You know, that they're so, she was being so performative about her devotion and this. But like, she didn't have the manners to thank a gom who opened the door for her. And you see, I have high feelings on this subject, because obviously I grew up in a country where there was many people who were performatively religious, but in real life they weren't a bit nice. So it sort of made me laugh a little bit, you know. That's just me though. And another lovely thing about staying so high is there's a lounge in this hotel, it's on the 116th floor, and of an evening me and himself go in, and he does have a Tsing Tao beer, and I have a water. You know, they're so great. You know, the first night I came, I said, could I have a still water? And they said, Evian, and I said, fabulous, you know. And they said, cold or room temperature? It's like, room temperature. Because actually I do like room temperature, you know, because the other thing hurts my teeth. So we sit there in the evening, and like, we've only been here 3 days, but it became our routine immediately. And we sit there at about 6 o'clock. Is it 6 o'clock himself? Yes. And we look out over the city, and the sun is going down, and the lights on all the buildings are going on, and it's a thing. People come to watch it. The buildings on the Kowloon side, where we are, do light works on their buildings for the people on the Hong Kong side, and the people on Hong Kong side do all lovely coloured figures and patterns and thrilling things on their buildings for us, the Kowlooners, to be admiring. And it's just lovely. So we go home today, but we leave today, but we arrive back in Ireland in about 7 days' time. I don't know how it happens. Something to do with clocks and the curvature of the earth and daylight saving time and time travel. Yeah, all of those things. Yeah, but I have given you a sense of Hong Kong. It's amazing. It is truly, it's such a combination of opposites. You know, there's so much wealth here. Like the people you see, oh my God, the clothes they're wearing. Like people having their breakfast in an entire uniform, no, that's not the word, outfit from Valentino. I know how dear Valentino is. Don't look it up, it'll upset you, you know. And then people selling yolks on the street for feck all, but being nice about it. And then the queer smells that come out of so many of the Chinese medicine shops or food shops, you know, like not necessarily disgusting, but just exotic. Like, I'm so sorry I have left it as long as I did to come here. It's great. Also, did you know they have a Disneyland? Like, they have a Disneyland out near the giant Buddha. And so I said to himself yesterday, when I saw the Disneyland thing, I said, do you think Hannah would like the Disneyland? And himself, who has had it up to here with me, he says, kind of in a stony voice, biting it out, he goes, Hannah enjoys everything. Kind of like, as if I thought we'd established that. Hannah loves everything. You know, because I was looking for an excuse to fantasize about me and Hannah coming here, and Emma, and the Redzers, and Teddy and Luca, and the rest of them. Anyway, I have talked too long, and thank you for your patience through all of this. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you once again when I'm back in Ireland